with coverage you can count on. Welcome to Erie News Now at 11.
Good evening, I'm Mike Ruzzi. Thanks for joining us for Erie News Now at 11. We begin tonight with a tragic scene just outside of the Mill Creek Mall tonight as an accident turned fatal earlier this evening. Our Philip Ward joins us now live from the scene on Interchange Road. Philip, what do we know about this accident at this time?
Well, Mike, right now, authorities behind us are still investigating a crash involving a car and a motorcycle on Interchange Road. You can actually see crews working right now to get both vehicles away from the area. Now, Mike, we have very limited information, but what we know right now is that the Erie County coroner was called to the scene shortly after 8:30 this evening. At this time, officials have not released any additional information about the condition of those involved. Now, police and EMS crews, I'm sure, will continue to work at the scene throughout the night, and the area is still blocked off as this investigation is going to get underway. Now, Mike, we will, of course, bring you the very latest both on air and online as we learn them. Mike.
All right, Philip, thank you. We have an update on the case involving the death of Lonene Rogers. As of today, we now know that Clinton Bud Rogers, who told police he killed Lonene, will remain behind bars while he awaits trial. The judge ruling to deny a habeas corpus petition, which means that Rogers will remain in custody as the case moves forward. The Crawford County District Attorney's Office says the ruling was filed Monday and provided to both prosecutors and the defense today. Lonene's daughter, Allison Diker, who continues to advocate for justice in this case today, describing the update as everything.
I know that there'll be more steps to come, but I felt like this was such a huge day because if the judge ruled that there wasn't enough evidence to move forward, which is what the writ of habeas corpus is, in July 8th, we had a hearing to address the defense arguing that there wasn't enough evidence to prove a crime was committed because there was no body.
Now, no date has been set for the trial yet, but we'll continue to bring you the very latest when we have additional information. We turn now to weather coverage you can count on with Dakota Hunter. Dakota, just a fabulous night for 8 great Tuesdays, something to enjoy.
Yeah, it was, Mike. Tonight, really nice. And the unfortunate news is we are going to bring in some rain showers tomorrow, but there is some good news in that, and the fact that it's not going to be all day rain. Actually, the afternoon looks pretty nice. We'll talk about that later. But first of all, let's get you a live look outside at our beautiful bayfront tonight from our Oliver's Rooftop Bayfront camera. And you see the weather impact going to yellow as we head towards dawn tomorrow morning. That is going to be for the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms to make their way in. This is going to be very similar to Sunday night going into Monday morning, where we had those showers and storms that moved in around 3, 4 in the morning. It'll be a very similar situation tonight, but these will move in around 5 and 6. So again, check in with Tom starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and he'll obviously be tracking that for you on 5D. But right now on Doppler Max 5D, powered by LECOM, we're all nice and quiet. Still do have some clouds around. We'll still call it a partly cloudy night overall, but I think closer to the lakeshore, the better chance you have of seeing more clearing skies through this evening. But then the clouds kind of build as we head overnight. Got some 50s on the board out here in Warren County. 59 there in Warren, 58 into Tidiute, 58 into Quarry. We got 68 in Harbor Creek, 61 also in Cambridge Springs. Winds on the lighter side, not an issue there. But dew points, this is still a little bit of an issue. Some of the dew points have dropped into the 50s now, but closer to the lakeshore, still holding on to 60. But that changes after this cold front moves through tomorrow. We'll actually see some sunshine by the end of the day. We'll talk about that, plus a look at that all-important 10-day coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Dakota, data centers must now follow strict rules if they want to build in Pennsylvania after Governor Josh Shapiro signed an executive order today. The order mandates that projects to agree to Shapiro administration's grid rules, which deal with transparency, energy cost, environmental protection, and hiring practices. Now, the order also ends any fast-track permitting for companies and bans companies from entering non-disclosure agreements. Governor Shapiro was initially more open to data center development. He presented these same rules as optional earlier this year. Public sentiment, though, on data centers has soured, and Pennsylvania citizens have vocalized multiple concerns.
I want you to know I hear you, and I listened. And I also want you to know that I thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts with me, to give me your input. Your input was heard, and it was considered.
Now, some advocates are still calling for a full moratorium, not just stricter permit rules. Data center leaders have yet to release a response to the order. Meanwhile, the Penn State drug ring saga continues tonight as one of the leaders of the drug operation has turned himself in. Augustino Abba-Ayatello was taken into custody this morning after not appearing for a preliminary hearing and has been denied bail. Abtiello had just one of 14 charged in the operation, which distributed cocaine on the campus of Penn State. 2 separate fraternities were involved in the drug ring, which brought cocaine from New York City and Philadelphia. 13 of the charged were students of Penn State, at one point, several of which are current students. Peptides are having a major moment after an FDA advisory panel voted to recommend easing compounding restrictions on 6 of 7 peptides. Our Mackenzie Robson joins us now. One local doctor, Mackenzie, who spoke in favor of their use, is sharing his experience with us tonight. Good evening.
Good evening, Mike. Peptides are small chains of amino acids that help carry out important functions throughout the body. They've also become a growing part of the wellness world, with people turning to them for everything from recovery to aging and other health goals. But questions remain about their safety, effectiveness, and regulation. What if something your body already makes could affect how you feel, heal, or even age? That's the question behind the growing interest in peptides.
It's supposed to be physician-directed with a prescription that personalized or customized to the patient's needs, and that's why compound pharmacy exists. And peptide was part of that system.
For Dr. James Lynn, the peptide debate isn't just about policy. He says it's about what he's seen in his own patients. The LECOM Successful Living president traveled to Washington, D.C. to testify about peptide therapies.
I was there as a witness to describe to the committee how I've been able to use peptide as an alternative means to treat some of the difficult conditions that I see.
It is the difference between a treatment that can be safely have or no treatment at all.
Dr. Lynn spoke to a committee considering whether some peptide therapies should return to the market. He says some patients who once used peptides have struggled since they were no longer available.
All of a sudden didn't have these peptides available. They weren't feeling as well. Their pain came back.
But Lynn says there's another concern. People can easily buy peptides online from sources that may not be regulated.
A gray market was created, and so there's no way to really monitor the quality of these peptides and stuff. So it became an issue.
Lynn says that's why FDA oversight matters to give patients access to peptide therapies while helping protect their safety.
Once the committee recommends that these ingredients should be back on the list, usually the FDA will follow suit.
The advisory panel voted to recommend adding 6 of the 7 peptides it reviewed. Now those peptides will undergo further review as the FDA considers the available evidence. If the agency ultimately allows them for compound use, doctors could have a clear path to prescribe them. Mike.
Mackenzie, thanks. From opening 8 Great Tuesdays a few years ago to headlining tonight's show, 1st to 11 is celebrating its 10th year right here at home. Our Haley Poe caught up with the lead singer, Audra Miller, to find out what this hometown performance means to the band.
Honestly, it's so crazy to think that we've even been posting videos for 10 years and playing around town in Erie for even longer than that. So doing all the things that we got to do this year, opening for the Fray, playing in the Erie Insurance Arena for the first time, headlining an 8 Great Tuesday, it's crazy to see how much support the Erie community has given us, and not just, the people online, everybody here. It's so cool to see it in your hometown.
This year marks 10 years since First to 11 started posting videos and performing together.
It's so crazy to think that we've been putting out videos on YouTube every week for 10 years, which is so crazy. So, we had a lot of songs to pick from to play tonight, so we're excited.
The band is still made up almost entirely of its original members, with the other members having been part of the group for years. Miller says that longevity comes down to one thing: they genuinely enjoy spending time together.
Honestly, we just have so much fun together. I think it's all about that, and it is our job, but our job is so fun, and we get to just travel the world together and do fun things together all the time, which I think makes it pretty easy.
And after a year filled with big moments, the band says headlining 8 Great Tuesdays in their hometown is the perfect way to celebrate 10 years of making music together.
We have done some crazy things. We got to play at the Erie Insurance Arena this year for opening up for the Fray for the America 250 concert. We've had so many shows in Erie. We've played so many shows all over the country this year, and it's just been so much fun. We're so excited to be here.
Haley Poe, Erie News Now.
And First to 11 is going on tour this fall, and you can catch their upcoming concert dates on our website, erienewsnow.com. With the ceremony for the 100th anniversary of the Perry Monument less than 4 weeks away, there's a must-see exhibit at the Hagen History Center. The center houses the Command and Courage Oliver Hazard Perry exhibit. It features artifacts like Commodore Perry's authentic telescope and battle sword.
We're excited for this very special anniversary this year and what will take place at Perry's Monument.
There is a lifetime representation of the hero of the Battle of Lake Erie seated at the table at the ship's cabin.
Well, people agreed that there's nothing like this across the country. This is a complete one-off when you take into account the very personal letters, the objects, even a lock of Perry's hair. It's a completely extraordinary exhibit.
Just over a year ago, the Hagen History Center was able to obtain letters and other artifacts at an auction in Miami, Florida. How important is it to make that connection and continue making connections like that?
I think it's critically important. We have such a rich history here, and if we can maintain their interest, which I think we will, it'll benefit Erie as a whole.
And now, Don't Give Up the Ship has a new meaning.
Well, and I'm happy to announce that we actually have in our hands now the Don't Give Up the Ship flag. It's about 100 feet by 60 feet, so it's about the third of the size of a football field. And eventually we're going to donate it to the Naval Academy at Annapolis.
And the exhibit is now open Tuesday through Sunday at the Hagen History Center. Still to come on Erie News Now at 11, Crawford County is gearing up for a season of giving, how organizers are pushing to break records this coming year. And let's take a live look outside our Skyview camera, Dakota's full forecast, and what you need to know if you're heading out Wednesday morning when he comes back.
Now, first warning weather with Dakota Hunter.
Welcome back, everybody. This is a live look at that crash scene along Interchange Road and I-79 from our Gary Miller at the Mall Skycam. Again, our Philip Ward is on the scene, and again, we will have more info on this later tonight and obviously tomorrow as more information comes out. But stay with our news department. We're obviously working on that for you through the overnight. All right, so for tonight, increasing clouds. Rain is going to overspread the region as we head into the overnight hours tonight. More so by tomorrow morning, though, in time for the morning commute. And watch for a few rumbles out there as well. But rain, it's been wet, has it not? 3.65 inches rain total for the month. That gives us a surplus of 1.67 inches compared to where we should be at this time of the month. But when you kind of factor the whole thing out and kind of stretch it out for the summer season, remember, summer in the weather business is June, July, and August, the 3 months for meteorological summer. Our rain total sits at 10.43 inches, which only gives us a surplus of about 1.42. So the summer hasn't been really wet. It's just when it rains, we've been getting a lot of rain. So it's not the fact we've had a lot of rainy days. We've just had a lot of rain coming down at once throughout the summer. Doppler Max 5D storm spotter radar powered by LECOM, not tracking any rain tonight, which is the good news. We're dry across the area, but that will change tomorrow as this front you see over Michigan dives its way down into our area. That's what's coming our way overnight and will produce some thunderstorms for us for the morning commute. So here it is, mainly clear skies for this evening. We'll see a little more thickening of the clouds by tomorrow morning. Then this is the newest run of Futurecast. This just came in. So again, few scattered showers in the morning. The afternoon actually is trending drier now. So I really think after we get through these morning and very early afternoon showers and storms, I think the middle to late afternoon is really going to be usable. The clouds break, the sun breaks out, so the afternoon's going to be the better day. We could hold on to a few isolated showers, especially Thursday morning, but I think we're dry, all things considered, as we head to the afternoon. In terms of rain, the guidance has been kind of back and forth here. We've seen some totals lower than this, but now the guidance has gone back up to about 1 to maybe 1.5 inches of rain tomorrow. We'll watch it. Severe weather not expected, but you know what I say, when it comes to thunderstorms, you always expect the unexpected. 60s for the lakeshore tonight, 50s inland, then tomorrow, we're all living in the 70s, so no 80s across the area tomorrow. Again, mainly dry for Thursday and Friday outside of a morning shower, lots of sunshine. The weekend looking a bit wet. The next week, a little bit of a warm up.
All right, Dakota, thanks. Nearly an hour before the deadline, President Donald Trump has reversed course on tariffs targeting Canada. After negotiations throughout the day, the tariffs have been delayed 3 days for further negotiations. President Trump was set to impose 50% tariffs on Canada in the wake of the Canadian forest fires and tension between the U.S. and Canada over the summer. Those tariffs would target 5% of Canadian goods coming to the U.S. The U.S. and Canada engage in trade worth more than $800 billion a year. Just 1 week ago, the community stepped up in a big way for Erie Gives Day. Now it's Crawford County's turn. Officials are hoping for a record-breaking year to support 209 area nonprofits in Crawford County. Crawford Gives raised more than $190,000 each last year, and that number continues to grow. Last year, people donated over $1 million to 192 nonprofits as part of Crawford Gives. Organizers believe they can exceed that goal over the next few days, but only if the community shows up to support.
The thing I'm most proud of is just how generous people are in this community on a per capita basis. So they're opening up their wallets and pocketbooks and making sure that the organizations that they care most about have their financial support. And those organizations are also demonstrating the care that they have for the community by showing impact for those dollars.
And beginning tomorrow, people can donate in person, online, or over the phone. Crawford Gives runs until August 21st. All right, it is sports time with our Chris Soul and the Seawolves. Chris, back at home at the ballpark.
That they were, Mike, and they welcomed the Toronto Blue Jays AA affiliate, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. This one, an absolute marathon. We'll have the full game highlights coming up after a short break.
From the Erie Sports Now team, here's Chris Soul.
Hello and welcome to our Erie Sports Now update. The Erie Seawolves return to UPMC Park to start a series against the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Joe Miller getting the nod for Game 1 of the Seawolves and Fisher Cats. New Hampshire led 1-0, but in the third, Zaire Hope, a moonshot of a home run. That one way out of here to deep right field, and that gives the Seawolves a 2-1 lead. Go to the fourth now. The Fisher Cats draw even here as Edward Duran drives in Dub Glee to tie us at 2 apiece. 2 batters later, and Cutter Coffey singles to left center field. 2 more runs score, and the Cats lead the Wolves 4-2. Seawolves trail 4-3 in the ninth, but Zaire Hope extends the game, his 3rd RBI of the night. We head to extras. The Fisher Cats would strike first via the sacrifice fly in the 10th from Edward Duran. That makes it 5-4. But in the bottom half, Andrew Jenkins clutched this time, an RBI single. We're tied at 5 apiece heading into the 11th. Once again, New Hampshire scores first as Victor Arias rips one just out of the reach of Seth Stevenson to make it 6-5. Then in the bottom half, with a runner on third, Peyton Graham gets under one to fly out and end the game as the Fisher Cats take a marathon of a game in Game 1 of this series, 6-5, the final in 11. With less than 2 weeks left until the opening kickoff of the 2026 high school football season, we continue our previews with our next stop at Union City. The Bears are coming off a 2-8 campaign in 2025. However, a region change means new and exciting opponents for 2026. Head coach Michael Wydrow returns 20 total starters for 2026, and he feels that his current group is more bought into the program's success than ever before.
Excited. We got a new region, excited for new opponents. We got new coaches, well, one new coach, but the teams we made it out of HEDAC without any injuries, so I'm looking forward to having a healthy team this year.
People pushing their limits as hard as they can. Even the incoming freshmen have been doing very good with that, and the weight room has been having a lot of energy with the new coaching.
This is the first group that's really all bought in. We gave the kids the challenge. The motto this year was choose hard, and you'll never regret that hard choice at the end of the day, and we've seen a lot of these guys exemplify what it is.
From the gridiron back to the diamond, where the Cleveland Guardians hosting the San Francisco Giants. 2 on for Joe Adell in the first, and he hits a tape measure shot to left, gone in a hurry, and it's 3-0 Cleveland. Same spot once again for Adell, and he collects his 3rd and 4th RBIs of the game with a single to make it 5-1. And how about a 3rd time? Have a night, Joe Adell. He drives in another to cap off a 6 RBI performance and an 8-1 Cleveland Guardians win. And we'll finish off tonight with Game 2 of the Pirates and Tigers with O'Neal Cruz back in the lineup for Pittsburgh. And how about the former Seawolf, Brett Callahan, mashing his first career big league home run to give the Tigers a 1-0 lead. But in the 5th, welcome back O'Neal Cruz with a Cruz missile, launching one out to right center, and the Pirates take the lead. Still in the frame now, Spencer Horwitz tacks on with an RBI single as the Pirates get a 4-1 win over the Tigers. That's our sports update. More Erie News Now at 11 coming up after a short break.
Too tough a pitch to hit.
From Erie News Now, this is coverage you can count on with Mike Ruzzi.
Administrators, teachers, and all staff from Erie's public schools gathering at the Bayfront Convention Center this morning for the district's 2nd annual Back to School Convocation. Our Lisa Adams was at the event and spoke with officials on their new approach for a new school year.
It was a train theme for Convocation 2026. Superintendent Dr. Nadeline Gibbs wearing a conductor's cap, motivating faculty and staff for a new school year.
I think we are not used to all of this excitement, so it's really nice to have this kind of energy.
I feel like we're coming together. We have a sense of belonging. We know where we're starting at. We have a starting point and how we're going to move on through the year.
This is truly energizing. It's a great way for us to gather as a team and talk about the initiatives of the school district and really focus on the changes and the work that we have to do for our students to make sure they have the best experience when they come back on day one.
Students from Collegiate Academy helped recognize employees from a year of service up to more than 30 years. Erie's public schools also rolled out a new brand and logo with a tagline that reads, "Learning without limits." And faculty is ready to focus on the planks of a new strategic plan that some helped create.
The strong start for our students that are coming into kindergarten, just making sure that those kids coming into school age have the foundational skills they need to be at school.
So we're going to do a lot more reading. We're going to focus on that. I'm going to implement a lot of at-home reading, so I'm going to try to get the parents really involved this year so that they can assist me as much as possible so that we can get these kids where they should be.
Their advice for families?
Just know that we're all on the same team.
Lisa Adams, Erie News Now.
Lisa, thank you. I want to tell you about a new show coming to Erie News Now. Join Belle Fahey and Tracy Tudup for the all-new Hello Erie. It's 1 hour long, conversations, food, community events, and much more. It's weekdays from 9 to 10, launching September 14th, only on Erie News Now. That is our report for this evening. Our next news, 5 a.m. tomorrow, Erie News Now Sunrise. Until then, you have a great night.